Most hunters in this country have a bottle of Hops No. 9 on their cleaning bench. It has been there so long, nobody questions it anymore. It smells like a gun cleaning kit, and it costs $9 for a few ounces. And most hunters have 3 or 4 other products next to it. Break-free CLP ballistol or solvent patch, lube carbon remover. By the time you count them up, you have $40 or $50 sitting on that shelf. Before the gun cleaning industry built that shelf, there was something else. A formula that a retired Army armorer named C.E. Harris documented and published. The formula went into print through NRA publications in the early 1990s. Based on cleaning methods that had been in use among gunsmiths for decades before that, it is called Ed's Red, and the total cost to mix a full batch that will clean rifles for years is around $3. I want you to meet Hank Driscoll. Hank spent 35 years doing armor work out of a small shop in rural Ohio. He learned Ed's Red from a gunsmith who had been using the formula since the 70s. Hank has never bought a commercial gun cleaner. Not Hops, not Break-Free, not Ballistol. Not any of them. Every rifle that came through his shop got cleaned with the same 4-ingredient formula: ATF, acetone, kerosene, lanolin, all 4 available at any hardware store or auto parts store. All 4 with documented safety data sheets showing exactly what they are and what they do. Hank pointed out something that most hunters never think about. The gun cleaning industry grew into its current size during the post-war boom. Before 1950, most gunsmiths and military armorers used simple compound formulas, products made from ingredients that were already on the shelf in any shop. Petroleum distillates natural waxes, solvents that every hardware store carried. The specialized gun care product did not exist as a retail category until manufacturers figured out that hunters would pay a premium for a bottle with a rifle on the label. Ed's Red is what was on the bench before that marketing category existed. It was not a secret. It was not suppressed. It was just the standard practice of people who worked on guns for a living, and it was documented and published so that hunters could use it at home. Hank said the NRA publication that carried the formula was not obscure. It was widely read and widely shared in the gunsmithing community. The formula did not disappear because it stopped working. It disappeared from the average hunter's awareness because the industry built an aisle that made $3 solutions look less legitimate than $30 ones. Before Hank walks us through the formula, I want to point you towards something: the complete documented mixing guide with exact ratios, safety notes, and storage instructions is inside the hunter's vault. Scan the QR code showing in the top left of your screen right now, or find the link in the description below and get the full guide in there. Now let me tell you what each ingredient actually does. In the formula, ATF is automatic transmission fluid. It is a high detergency oil designed to break down carbon and varnish deposits inside engines. Those deposits behave chemically like powder fouling and carbon buildup in a rifle. Bore ATF cuts through that fouling because it was built to cut through the same class of compounds. Acetone is a solvent that evaporates completely off the metal surface. It carries the loosened fouling out of the bore and off the action surfaces. Then it disappears, leaving no residue of its own. Kerosene acts as the carrier oil that keeps the formula liquid and helps it penetrate. It also provides a light surface protection as the other solvents flash off. Lanolin is a natural wax derived from wool. It is the corrosion inhibitor in the formula. It bonds to the metal surface and provides a protective barrier against oxidation and moisture. If lanolin is hard to find, Hank says baby oil from the pharmacy works as a substitute. It does not provide quite the same level of corrosion protection as lanolin, but it extends the formula's reach to hunters who cannot source lanolin locally. These 4 compounds do what the gun cleaning industry has been charging $40 to do. They break down fouling, they carry it out, they protect the metal, and they preserve the surface. Hank said he has compared the results side by side more times than he can count. Ed's Red on one rifle, Hops No. 9 plus CLP on the identical rifle. Same caliber, same round count, same fouling. The bore that got Ed's Red came out just as clean, at a fraction of the cost per cleaning. Hank has cleaned bolt actions, semi-autos, shotguns, and handguns with the same formula. The ingredients do not know what platform they are cleaning. They respond to the chemistry of the fouling, not the brand name on the action. 35 years of results tell him everything he needs to know about the formula. Coming up, Hank shows us the exact mix ratios and walks through a full bore cleaning on camera. Hank mixes Ed's Red in a quart mason jar. He measures equal parts of each ingredient by volume: 1 part ATF, 1 part acetone, 1 part kerosene, 1 part lanolin. He pours them in that order, puts the lid on, and shakes it for 30 seconds. The formula is ready to use immediately. It stores in a sealed container for years without degrading. Around $3 for a quart batch priced at any hardware store or auto parts counter. Around $3? That quart will clean a rifle dozens of times. Hank sets the jar next to the row of commercial cleaners for comparison. $9 for a few ounces of Hoppe's No. 9, $12 for a 4-ounce bottle of break-free CLP, $8 for a small bottle of Ballistol. The $3 quart of Ed's Red sitting next to them does the same job on every application. For the actual bore cleaning, Hank starts with a dry patch. He runs it through once to clear any loose debris from the bore. Then he saturates a clean patch with Ed's Red enough that the patch is wet but not dripping. He runs it through the bore from chamber to muzzle in one pass. Then he sets the rifle down and lets the formula work for 3 minutes. The ATF and acetone are penetrating the fouling layer during that time, breaking the bond between the carbon and copper deposits and the bore surface. After 3 minutes, he runs a bronze brush through the bore 10 times. The loosened fouling comes off the brush, wet and dark. Then he runs a clean dry patch to pull out the loosened material. He checks the patch under a light. If the patch comes out with heavy dark residue, he runs another wet pass and waits again. If the patch comes out lightly colored, the bore is ready for the final step. One clean patch lightly loaded with Ed's Red run through from chamber to muzzle. That final pass leaves a thin, even coat of lanolin on the bore surface. The lanolin bonds to the steel and creates a protective barrier against oxidation in storage. Hank does not run a dry patch after that final pass. The lanolin coat is the protection layer. He leaves it in place. When the rifle comes out for its next use, a single dry patch removes the storage coat and the bore is ready to shoot. He walked me through the same process on the action. He applies Ed's Red to a clean rag and wipes down all external metal surfaces. Then he uses a small brush loaded with the formula to work it into the bolt assembly. The acetone fraction cuts through any carbon or residue from the last range session. The ATF fraction lifts it off the metal surface. The kerosene carries it away on the patch. The lanolin leaves protection behind on every surface. It touches. Hank said the thing that surprises hunters most when they switch to Ed's Red is how clean the bore patches come out on the first pass. Commercial products often require 3 or 4 passes before patches start coming clean. Ed's Red works faster because the ATF fraction is a more aggressive degreaser than anything in a standard commercial bore cleaner. Hank has used Ed's Red on lever actions, bolt actions, and semi-autos across 35 years. He has never had a bore show corrosion under the formula's protection. He has never had a bore patch test. Comeback, showing residue the formula missed. He has also never spent more than a few dollars per season on cleaning supplies. Hunters who come into his shop and see the formula for the first time ask the same question. Why does nobody talk about this? Hank says the answer is simple. Nobody profits from you knowing a $3 formula cleans as well as $40 of gear. The formula works. The documentation exists. The ingredients are at your hardware store. The only thing standing between you and using it was not knowing it was there. Now, the gun cleaning industry knows this chemistry. The ingredients in Ed's Red are not obscure or experimental. They are industrial compounds with decades of documented performance data behind them. The industry sells you a refined version in a smaller bottle at a larger markup. Once you know the formula, there is no reason to pay that markup. Hank also addressed one question that comes up every time he shows the formula to a new hunter: whether acetone is safe to use inside a rifle bore. Acetone evaporates completely within minutes at room temperature. It leaves no residue on the metal surface after it flashes off. The bore is not exposed to it for long enough to cause any issue, and the kerosene and lanolin that follow it in the formula coat the surface immediately after Hank said he has never seen acetone cause a problem in a bore in 35 years of use. The complete Ed's Red guide is inside the hunter's vault. Exact ratios, mixing instructions, storage notes, and Hank's full protocol by firearm type. Scan the QR code showing in the top left of the screen right now, or hit the link in the description below. If you have a shelf full of gun cleaners that costs more than the rifle cleans, this is for you. Go get it right now while you're watching. And before you close out, hit subscribe because Hank is back on the bench next week. And what he brought in is going to change how you think about bore protection for good.